This is your practical exercise 1 from Prac3, and in this practical we expected from you guys to be able to plan a programming solution. Okay, so for this exercise we are going to do a simple program where you calculate your weights on different planets in terms of what your weight on Earth is. Alright, so I trust you already read through the practical slides and everything because you were actually supposed to do this in class. This is just a recap to explain the step-by-step programming we did. So just for you guys to have some clarity regarding it. If we go to the next slide, we want you to determine what the purpose of the program is, what the input is going to be, what the processing should do, and what the output should show after everything is captured and processed. Alright. Excuse me. And lastly, we want you guys to be able to lay out the form in terms of what controls must be placed and used, and yeah, just basically how it's used and how it's placed, and how to best organize them so that the program is usable to the user. Alright. Okay, and then the last slide is basically it's basically a summary. Draw up a flow diagram of how the processing for one of the planets will proceed. Okay, so a flow diagram is just basically how you guys are going to put together the steps in completing this exercise. So in terms of deciding what the input should be or what it is going to be, what happens if you click the button, what is the processing, what's going to happen in terms of processing, and in the end finally we want to show the user what his actual weight is, depending on if he's on the moon, Mars, or Jupiter. Alright, cool. That being said, let's go to Visual Studio. As you can see, I already created the form for you guys. I just named the controls that we are going to use. Alright, so you can see there label 1. If I go here, label 1. It's still label 1 because we're never going to do anything with that label. But we are going to use this text box, so we named it to text weight. That is going to be the input where the user is going to type in what his weight on Earth is. And then after he or she has typed his or her weight, then you click the moon, Mars, or Jupiter buttons, and then it will display your weight in terms of what button you clicked on. Awesome. So if we go to the moon code, you can see I already created event handlers. So this will show if you double click on every button, it will take you to that button's code. Alright, so let's go to the moon's code and let's start with that. Alright, so first things first, you always need to use comments. We want you to use comments as soon as possible and use it the way you work with programming and how you plan your program solution. So we basically want you guys to comment in terms of getting your steps right, how the logic of the program is going to work and everything. So yeah, please guys, the sooner you start commenting in your code, the better. And we also like to see how you guys think, so that if we think this guy, should he get the mark, should he not get the mark, and if we can read the comments on how we understood the program, then we might be actually able to know what you thought while you were coding. Alright, that being said, let's begin. So we want to declare, get my spelling right, declare variables. Alright, so with the moon and the Mars and the Jupiter buttons, we are going to use the same variables of type double. Not exactly the same, but it's going to more or less be the same. For now we say moon weight. Alright, so it's double, weight, and moon weight. The reason the variable is declared as a double is because a double can be 80.54, and that is not an integer, and we can only use double in terms of getting someone's weight. Alright, so that's the reason we want double. So if you want to put that in, it's double because the format in which you are going to give the number. So it's double because of that 0.34. Alright, the decimals. Cool, brilliant. Now, the next step is getting the Earth's weight and convert it to a double. I'm going to explain now why we are going to convert it. So we're going to get the Earth weight at 16.5% of your Earth's weight. Alright, and now we can use the weight variable we just declared and say convert and say dot to double, and then we use the text we got, text weight dot text and semicolon. Alright, so the reason we are saying to double is when you type something in the text box during runtime, the program sees that as a string. So you need to convert that number you just typed in to a double in order to do calculations with it later on, or do mathematical stuff with it. So it's really important to convert it to a double in order to have that text, which is a number, converted to a double. Okay, so the next step will be to calculate the moon weight Oh, no, sorry guys, this is get Earth weight, and see how important commenting is. Right. Okay, get Earth weight and convert to double. Right, now this weight we just got, we want to calculate the moon weight. So this weight is your Earth weight. We might as well have just said like Earth weight. So this weight is your current Earth weight. So calculate moon weight, okay, at 16.5%, like we did said here, right, of Earth weight. Okay, now we say moon weight, the variable, equals your Earth's weight times 16.5 divided by 100. This is just a formula of how you are going to calculate your weight if you would have stood on the moon. Alright. Okay, and then the second last thing is to display the output. Alright. This is now what you are going to do with this and with this. Alright, so this is basically your output controls. Okay, so we are going to display it in terms of using the label and set the text to your weight on the moon is. Okay, so I'm just going to take you back to the form. So this label output.text, so this will be here. So this label's text will show differently when you click the moon button. Alright, because it's still inside the moon click event handler. Yes, alright. And we want the text box to actually display the calculations you just made. So that's going to be text text output dot text equals, and we are going to convert it back to a string because as I said, the program, once you start using the text boxes, it sees the text inside as a string. So you need to convert, if you want to show something in a text box, you need to convert it to a string. If you want to use the text inside the text box in terms of numbers or doubles, then you convert it to a double in order to make calculations. Alright, I hope that is clear to you guys. Alright, then finally we want to change the background image of the form when the button is clicked. Alright, so as we explained to you in the very first lecture, if we want to use the control, the form control, and set the background property or anything regarding the form, we say that, and we use the this keyword. All right. Sorry about all the this. It's yeah, it's difficult to explain with all the this keywords. All right. Anyways, so we say this. We use the this keyword and say the background image property. We are going to say then properties. This is literally if you go here and you click on the form so that you can view the form's properties, you go up and you search for background image. So this is literally what we are coding here. This, which is the form, and the background image property, which is the, can't find it, which is this. And we set the properties of that form to the resources we are going to use, and then we use the moon image. So you can see the moon is not showing an error because I already imported the images into the resource file. So how you are going to go about that is you go to the background image and you click there, and then you can see I already imported all the buttons or the images we are going to use. So just to show you how I did this is go to import, click there, and then literally choose the buttons or the images, sorry, you are going to use to set the background image to when the button is clicked. Alright, so as you can see that's already imported, and we leave it to none or equals none, because otherwise if we are going to say Jupiter now, then it immediately changes the background color, which we don't want now at this stage. So we want it to be kept on none. Alright, cool. So now you understand this piece of code. Alright. Then we are going to change the background image layout to image layout.stretch. So this is just to make the image pretty and to actually have it in the center and that you can see the whole full image. Alright, so if you are going to run this now, which I am doing now currently, you can see it loads and everything is working and stuff. I'm so glad. And then let's say for the input, my weight on Earth is 10 kgs and I click on moon, then great, my calculation is correct. 16.5 divided by 100 is 1.65, and the moon is showing in the background. So this is basically what we expect of you guys. I am going to show you the Mars and Jupiter buttons because the calculations and the weights, the percentages differ. So I'm just going to use that with this in order to show you what we want you to do with the Mars and Jupiter buttons as well. As you can see, this is not looking great, so if you want to, you can just move this to the left in order to have it look great and everything and to impress us. Okay, so now we go to the Mars button, and I am literally going to do this with you, but I'm going to copy every comment because we are going to basically do the same thing. So we can declare the variables, and it's going to be doubles because of the decimals within the numbers, and we say weight, and now it's Mars weight. Okay, awesome. It's not giving errors due to having weight the same variable name. Just be careful with this because it's two different scopes. If you type in double weight here, let's quickly show you, then it's going to show you this because we already have a variable named weight. Okay, a local variable named weight is already defined within this scope. Alright, so if you want this to be something else, or you're going to use another weight, then you should just call it Earth weight or whatever, just in order to have it as different names. Awesome. I just thought I would mention that to you guys. Okay, cool. The next thing you need to do is to get, oh, not that. It's doing that because I haven't done the 2 forward slashes, but I'm not sure. While I've written it down, I can just copy and paste it. Alright, so get the earth weight and convert to double. It's going, as I said, it's going to be exactly the same thing. Weight equals and then convert to double. We are going to convert the text within the text weight control text box. Okay, and that's that with the earth weight and converting it. Alright, now we also need to calculate the Mars weight at, let me see here, at 37.7%. Okay, at 37.7%. Oh, no, there we go. Of the earth weight you currently have. Alright, so now we say Mars weight equals your earth weight times 37.7 divided by 100. Cool. And we want to display everything again. Okay, so no, not this. We want to show the label output text to change to your weight on Mars is. Okay, space just to make it neat. And then obviously we want to show you the calculation. So text output dot text equals convert dot to string. As I previously explained to you all that stuff, it's basically just because the program reads everything you want to display in a text box. It should be a string, right? So you should convert it to a string. But if you type in a number and you want to do something with that number, you need to convert it either to an integer or the double in terms of how you declared it as, like either a double int or whatever. Alright, so that being said, we are going to do the final thing, which is change background image of the form. Alright, and then the important this keyword, background image equals to properties, okay, dot resources dot Mars, because we already have a Mars image. Okay, cool. The resources folder, I can quickly show you guys if you don't understand exactly where it is. I saved my stuff on the desktop. If you go into the project file and go to this folder, and you see all these components of the project, and you can already see the resources. Alright, and within the resources folder there lies all the images that you have imported. Alright, cool. Alright, so that being said, now you understand why I'm using this piece of code. Alright, so now we want to change the layouts of the of the form's background image to image layout dot stretch in order to have it look neat and everything. Cool stuff. Alright, okay, so we save, Control S, or just Control save all, just to be safe. And then if I start it, alright, it's working, everything is great. And then I'm going to use 10 all the time just to make sure that the calculation is correct. So if I click on Mars, Mars is showing, and it is correctly calculated. Brilliant. Alright, now for the last one, which is the Jupiter button. It's literally going to be the same as both the the moon button and the Mars button as well. So we can copy that. We can copy that. We can copy that. Okay. And lastly, we are going to use that. All right. So as I said, going to be the same. And then now it's Jupiter weight, because we want the weight of your Earth weight and your Jupiter weight. That is why we declare both these variables. Alright. Next up is getting the weight and convert it to a double. And we are using the text box, text weight, and the text that is being given by the user. Alright, now we are calculating it, and the calculation might be a bit different since Jupiter is a lot bigger than the two previous planets. Equals weight, okay, times, it's not going to be that, I think it's going to be 263, comma something, if I can remember correctly, 236.4. 236.4% of your Earth's weight. Wow, we're really heavy on Jupiter, right? Anyways, okay, cool. So we time that by 236.4 divided by 100. So that is Jupiter's formula in calculating your Jupiter weight. Alright, so then displaying the output, it's going to be exactly the same. Showing the label, or changing the label's text to the following. Your weight on Jupiter is, okay, and then your text output dot text equals convert dot to string, as I previously explained to you, and this is Jupiter, the Jupiter weight that you calculated is going to show within this text box. Yes. Okay. So as I just said, the Jupiter weight you calculated, which will be a number, is being converted to a string because it is going to be shown in the text box named text output, which is this guy, as you can see there. Alright. That being said, we're busy with the last thing, and this is changing the form's background image. Yes. Alright, so background image equals properties dot resources dot finally Jupiter. Alright, then we want to display the background image layout. Again, it's image layout dot stretch, and that's it. Alright, if we save everything and we press start and we use 10 kgs again, and Jupiter loads in the background, and you can see your weight on Jupiter is 23.64, which is correct. Awesome. Alright guys, so that was Practical 3 Exercise 1. And as you can see, it's fairly simple. It's very easy if you just go with me throughout all the steps that I've just showed you guys. Yeah, cool. Another thing which I just want to quickly, which I just saw now, which I want to show you guys, is changing a background image of a form. This is one way. This is the easy, lazy, short way, which I prefer because it works. It always works and it's reliable. Another way of doing this is saying image dot from file, and then you do this, okay? And then literally what this is, it's a pathway on your local PC, taking Visual Studio to that path where that image you want to use is currently. So if you say C, which is your C drive, and you do double backslash always, and then you say users dot double slash again. Wow, let's say documents, for example, INF154 is awesome. That's my folder. Then another 2 backslashes, lecture 3 backslash backslash, and then let's say moon.jpg, which is the file we want to use. Okay. The problem I have with this is your pathway, which you just defined here, will not always necessarily be the same on every PC. So, for example, I can use this on my PC and it will work. But if I go to the labs on a PC there, and I'm just gonna copy and paste this, and I say, and I use this, and it's literally going to be something like backslash backslash documents, and then UP, and then maybe your student number and everything, then that PC won't recognize this path and won't be able to find that, and it will give you either errors or it will just display nothing, and that is not what we want for you guys. So as I said, it is another way on how to change images and background images and everything, but it's, for me personally, it's not very reliable. The way I've shown you guys how you can do that with properties and using the resources within the project file, that is much more reliable, and I can promise you it will work 100% of the time if you do it correctly. Awesome, that was the last thing I just wanted to mention to you guys. Yeah, I have no further comment or anything else. Yeah, next up is the exercise 2, which Brandon will go through with you guys. Awesome, thanks, cheers guys.